Hello and welcome to Words You Need Advanced, the last lesson. Words 851 to 900. As you already know, these words are all cognates. So they are words which are similar in English and Russian. But similar doesn't mean the same, and often people simply pronounce a Russianized version of the English word, and everybody understands them because it sounds nearly the same, so nobody corrects them, and so people continue to pronounce it incorrectly for years. And that's what I want to save you from by telling you very clearly how to pronounce all these cognates in English. So, let's go. The first one. Это довольно абстрактная идея. Абстрактная is abstract. This is quite an abstract idea. Or with connected speech, quite an abstract idea. Oh, try again. It's quite an abstract idea. There we go, no gaps. Quite an abstract idea. Because all the words begin with vowels. That's fun. Let's have a look at some other nouns which commonly come after abstract. Let's see. Abstract. I can't stand abstract art. I really can't. It's not for me. Some people like it, that's fine. It's not for me. It's a rather abstract concept. I don't understand abstract thought. Abstract. Abstraktное. The next one. Now this is one of those words where Russian people say, oh, it's absurd. It is absurd. No. Что за абсурдное предположение? What an absurd suggestion. Absurd. It's the erd sound, so it rhymes with third or bird. Bird, absurd. The third bird looks absurd. There we go. What other nouns often come after absurd? Notion. I like that noun. That's an absurd notion. It basically means idea, but maybe people just like the collocation. Absurd notion sounds better than absurd idea. I also like this. She spent an absurd amount of money. Сумасшедшие деньги. An absurd amount of money. That's quite good. I like it. Okay, the next one. НАТО. Крупнейший в мире военный альянс. NATO is the world's biggest military alliance. Actually, NATO is one of those words. People just say NATO in English. No, it's not NATO, it's NATO. NATO, and we need an apostrophe, and it's an alliance. Alliance. They are military allies. They are in an alliance. And you can ally with somebody. Britain allied with France to defeat Germany, for example. Allied. Okay, the next one. Мы оказались перед дилеммой. We were presented with a dilemma. Dilemma. It's almost the same, but remember it's die at the beginning. Dilemma. But the stress is still on the second syllable. Dilemma. Long L. Dilemma. Strange, isn't it? We have one L, and it's long, and we have two M sounds, but they're short. Dilemma. The next one. Они обменялись интимными фотографиями. Intimные. They exchanged intimate photos. Intimные. Intimate. What else can be intimate? They had an intimate relationship. But also, he has intimate knowledge of this subject. So, deep knowledge can be called intimate knowledge. intimate can also be a verb. What are you intimating? To intimate is to imply or to suggest, but in a slightly hidden way. Намекайте. What are you intimating? Let's see what the translator says. Yeah, на что ты намекаешь? What are you intimating? The next one. Эти модификации делают работу двигателя более плавной. These modifications make the engine work more smoothly. Модификации, modifications. Modificировать, to modify. Modify. Try to do a nice long m, followed by quite a short o. Modify. Modify. M. The next one. В нашем магазине продаются только органические продукты. Our shop only sells organic produce. Органические, organic. Organic. And here, продукты is translated as produce. Produce is fruit and vegetables, basically. Fruit and vegetables together are produce. There you go. And grain as well. Like everything that grows is produce. It's like the stuff that is produced by the world, but then not processed. So that's produce. Grains, fruit, vegetables. The next one. Эта технология запатентована. I hope I pronounced it correctly. This technology is patented. So, I got a patent. Maybe it helps you to think about patents like parents, or maybe not, because in patent it's a patent, and in parent it's a parent, but it's not patent, and it's not parent. It's patent, parent, Anyway, patent. Don't say pay, patent. It's patented. Patented technology. The next one. Братья Райт были знаменитыми пионерами авиации. Пионеры, pioneers. The Wright brothers were famous aviation pioneers. Like engineer, pioneer, the stress is on the ear at the end. Not pioneers, but pioneers. And I know those of you who grew up in the Soviet Union were probably pioneers when you were at school. I was a pioneer at school. Or I was a member of the pioneers. The socialists in the Soviet Union, they loved this word pioneers, I think. They were pioneering a new world. Anyway, the next one. Хотели бы вы совершить еще одну транзакцию? Would you like to make another transaction? So the tr at the beginning, remember it's a tr, transaction. And then it's a z in the middle. Transaction. It's a z. Transaction. And like in Russian, actually, transakция, transaction. And the z is a bit stretched because the a is stressed. Transaction. All right, that's 10 words. You know how it works now. You can take a break if you like, or you can just continue watching. Let's move on. Word 861. Аборт легален в большинстве стран. Abort is abortion. Abortion is legal in most countries. Now, the verb abort is not only used in the context of aborting babies or fetuses, depending on what you want to call them. Let's have a look at nouns which often appear either side of this verb to abort. So you can abort a mission. The mission was aborted. Like, stopped. abandoned, aborted. Child, baby, as we talked about. You can also abort a landing. The landing was aborted. So that's the plane tried to land, but the landing was aborted. They decided not to. The runway was covered in fog or something. So the landing was aborted. So usually abortion is about abort, but it can also be about missions or landings. The next one. Catalonia. Автономный регион в Испании. Autonomny is autonomous. Catalonia is an autonomous region in Spain. It's autonomous. Remember at the beginning, or, the double sound, or, autonomous, autonomous. The next one, дефицит витамина C, don't know, вызывает усталость. So deficit can be a deficiency. Vitamin C deficiency causes tiredness. There is also an English word, a deficit. But a deficit, let's have a look at how they're used. Deficit, we'll look at verbs that are often found either side of deficit. So, the government wants to reduce the deficit. So the deficit is always a gap between two things. So the deficit between income and spending. Or it could be between imports and exports. So a deficit is a gap, whereas a deficiency is a lack of. So a lack of vitamin C causes tiredness. That's vitamin C deficiency. Whereas a vitamin C deficit it doesn't really make sense because it's like the gap between two things. But we're just talking about one level and being below it. A deficit can be reduced in both directions. Exports can go up, imports can come down, and that will reduce the deficit in both directions. So deficiencies, deficits. Close, but not the same. The next one. Все дети были эвакуированы из города. All the children were evacuated from the town. Evacuated. For me, the most interesting part of this word is this bit. The Kuwait bit. Which actually sounds like you're saying the country Kuwait. Kuwait is a country. Evacuate. Kuwait. Evacuation. There is a y, q, and there is definitely a w, wait. Kuwait. Evacuated. The evacuation of the children. Evacuate. The next one. В прошлом месяце наша школа была проинспектирована. Our school was inspected last month. Now let's look at some other things that get inspected. So, inspect, different forms, and then nouns, inspect. So, he inspected the damage. So he came to have a close look at the damage. They inspected the facilities. They had a close look at I hope you know what facilities are. Usually the word is translated badly, but my translator says они осмотрели помещения. Facilities, все, что есть в помещении. The facilities. We inspected the property. We had a close look at the property. To inspect. Okay. Налоговые инспекторы пришли посмотреть на наши счета. The tax inspectors came to look at our accounts. Inspect, inspectors. Next one. Солдаты вышли маршем на площадь. March is march. The soldiers marched onto the square. Marched. Remember, the ed becomes a t after the unvoiced ch sound. The soldiers marched onto the square. Marched. Marched. The next one. Это был риторический вопрос. Риторический is rhetorical. It was a rhetorical question. Do we use the word rhetorical in any other contexts or only to talk about rhetorical questions? Let's have a look. You can also talk about a rhetorical device. That's like a linguistic... It's not устройство in this context. It's like лингвистический инструмент. Philologический инструмент, скорее. A rhetorical device. In a poem, in a speech, etc. Rhetorical. The next one. Мы рассмотрели все возможные сценарии. We have considered all the possible scenarios. So, scenarии, scenarios. I wonder what words often come before scenario when looking for adjectives to talk about scenarios. For example, yes. Well, in the worst case scenario, that's a common phrase, the worst case scenario. We need to plan for the worst case scenario. Самое плохое, что может быть. This is a likely scenario. Something which is, probably going to happen. Well, in the best case scenario, if there's a worst case scenario, there should be a best case scenario. I like this one. Well, yes, that's a plausible scenario. If something is plausible, then it's realistic. It could happen. It's plausible. All right, enough about scenarios. The next one. Компании, развивающие ветроэнергетику, получают субсидии от правительства. Субсидии, subsidies. Companies developing wind energy get subsidies from the government. For some reason, we didn't get the word companies. Companies developing... Oh, let's just try again. Companies developing wind energy get subsidies from the government. More or less. Whew. Subsidium, subsidies. Try to do a long s. Subsidies. And you can subsidize something. His parents subsidized his expensive tastes. So they paid for his expensive clothes or his expensive cars. They subsidized his lifestyle. I could have lifestyle there. Subsidize. The next one. Человек – это сумма его несчастий. I think that's a famous quote, but I don't know who said it. A man is the sum of his misfortunes. At least it's a famous quote in English. Perhaps not in Russian, I don't know. The sum of summa. The sum. Lots of s. Sum. The sum of his misfortunes. What else can we talk about the sum of? Sum of... Oops. Sum of with nouns and four places after. Let's have a look. Oh, yes. It's a large sum of money. He is more than the sum of his parts. That's a nice phrase. When you put all the parts together, you get something more than just the parts. Especially like a great team. A great team is more than the sum of its parts. Maybe the parts aren't worth so much, but when you put them together, it's worth a lot. That's what that phrase is about. Sum of. Sum of. There we go. And that's 10. So if you like, take a break. But you can also stay with me and I'll talk about the next set of 10. We've only got 30 words to go. Number 871. Я зарабатываю комиссионные, когда совершаю продажи. I earn a commission when I make sales. I own it. No, I earn. I earn a commission. No, try again. I earn a commission when I make sales. Oh, sometimes it prefers American sounds. I earn a commission when I make sales. There we go. Anyway, this is not about I earn, it's about a commission. Commission, комиссионные. I earn a commission. The next one. Устройство не будет работать без этого компонента. Компонента, component. The device doesn't work without this component. Component, it's got an O. It's got a W in it. Pone, not compo. Compo. Component. Component. The next one. Эти данные подтверждают мою гипотезу. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This evidence supports my hypothesis. Look at my mouth. Hypothesis. Hypothesis. Open your mouth. It will be much easier to pronounce the word correctly. Hypothesis. Or, well, hypothetically, I am free at the weekend. Hypothetically, it's my hypothesis. Hypothetically. All right, the next one. Он выиграл в лотерею 10 лет назад. Лотерея is a lottery. He won the lottery 10 years ago. Lottery. Look, I pronounce the L with my mouth open. Lottery. The lottery. The next one. Компасы используются для навигации. Compasses are used for navigation. The stress is on the first syllable, and the first syllable is come. Compasses. Try to stretch them up. Compasses. Compasses. Compasses are used for navigation. Come. The next one. Наркоманы часто попадают в реабилитационные центры. Addicts often end up in rehabilitation centers. Rehabilitation or rehab. He spent 3 months in rehab or a rehabilitation center. Rehab, rehabilitation. The next one. У них отличный слоган. They've got a great slogan. A slogan. Remember to pronounce it with a Y. It's not slaw, it's slow. Slogan. Slogan. And the next one. Массаж. That's a cognate. Massage. Может стимулировать приток крови. Massage can stimulate blood flow. Massage can stimulate blood flow. I got it the second time. Stimulate. Стимулировать. Massage. 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 And who gives a massage? Well, a masseur. I went to my masseur yesterday. Oh, it didn't work. I went to my masseur yesterday. Nope, I can't do it. The word is masseur. Like, masseur. Like that, I think. And the female version is a masseuse. She is a great masseuse. Oh, I got masseuse. I didn't get masseur. Never mind. Masseur and masseuse. Massagistka. Massagist. They do massages. But this slide is actually about stimulation. I decided massaging was more interesting. The next one. Как вы утилизируете токсичные отходы? Toxicny is toxic. How do you dispose of toxic waste? What else can be toxic? let's have a look. Toxic. Toxic waste. Toxic chemicals. Toxic substances. Toxic effects. Like последствия, I guess. Toxic assets. Things that it's not good to hold a toxic asset. I'm not sure if they're all toxichny in Russian, but here's a nice list of collocates in English at least. It's a toxic environment for me. I don't know. My workplace is a toxic environment. The next one. Присяжные вынесли свой вердикт. The jury have delivered their verdict. So, what's the verdict? We sometimes say that when we want someone's opinion. So, what's the verdict? Verdict. It turns out there's a Russian word which is the same. I didn't know that. Verdict. Verdict. All right, that's another set of 10. There aren't many words left now. Review these words if you need to, or stay with me and we'll talk about word 881. Мы посетили ботанический сад. Ботанический. Wrong language. We visited the botanical gardens. Botanical. A botanist is botanik. He is a botanist. However, in Russian, I know botanik is also used to talk about a kid at school who loves physics and chemistry and always gets top grades, I think. Botanik. In English, it's a geek or a nerd. He's a geek. She's a nerd. So geek, nerd, I think that's what we say for botanik at school. The next one. Они хотят изменить Конституцию. Constituция is, of course, the Constitution. They want to change the Constitution. Constitution. The next one. В нашей галактике миллиарды звезд. Galactica is the galaxy. There are billions of stars in our galaxy. Galaxy. The stress is on the first syllable. Galaxy. Say it with a smile. Galaxy. Galaxy. The next one. Ее реакция была истеричной. Истеричная реакция. Hysterical. Her reaction was hysterical. But hysterical can also be used when something's really, really funny. Oh, it was hysterical. Means it was really funny. Like everybody was in hysterics. Means everybody was laughing till they cried. They were, laughing so much. They were in hysterics. So it doesn't mean like psychaнули if they were in hysterics. It means they laughed a lot. It was hysterical. In hysterics is about laughing, but a hysterical reaction is an overreaction. So that's the closest to Russian истеричный, I think. The next one. Парк патрулируется рейнджерами. Oh, all the words are cognates. The park is patrolled by rangers. Yes, patrolled, not controlled. Patrolled by rangers. Patrolled. What other things are patrolled? Patrol. Let's have a look. Patrol. We'll have it as a verb. Let's see what we get. The streets. Yes. Police patrolled the streets. Or there were no police patrolling the area. Guards patrolled the border. Patrolled. There we go. Patrol. It's about rangers, police, guards, soldiers, etc. Patrolled. Я просмотрю ваше портфолио. That's one of those words which it's so close to the English one that I don't know how to pronounce it in Russian. I look through your portfolio. Portfolio. O-O. A bit like we have photo has two O sounds. Photo. The same with folio. 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 Portfolio. Portfolio. If you want to sound good at an interview and you need to show a portfolio, you ought to be able to pronounce portfolio correctly. So make sure that if it's part of your life, you can say it right. Portfolio. Portfolio. Next one. Наблюдается усиление сейсмической активности. There's been an increase in seismic activity. Сейсмический, seismic. Seismic. You might not guess how to pronounce it from the spelling, but it's just seismic. Seismic activity. Seismic. So obviously seismic is about earthquakes and the Richter scale, which measures, the Richter scale is used to measure seismic activity. I think people who study earthquakes are called seismologists. Yeah, seismologists. Seismology, the study of earthquakes. Okay, the next one. Ставки высокие. The stakes are high. Not those kind of stakes. Those stakes. We're not talking about высокие стейки. Высокие ставки. The stakes are high. They played a high stakes game. So I think in gambling, the stake is the money that you're willing to put in. So if the stakes are high, it means you have a lot invested in the game. Ставки высокие. The stakes are high. The next one. Он тактический гений. He's a tactical genius. So, tactics, tactica. We usually talk about tactics in the plural. Although you can talk about a good tactic. That's a good tactic. Yeah. But the team had good tactics. Because they need offensive tactics, defensive tactics. So it's very often a plural. Anyway, tactic. In this word, the vowels are very breathy. Tactic. Because the other sounds are all unvoiced. Tactics. Tactical. Tactical. And number 890. У нее варикозное расширение вен. She has varicose veins. So veni are veins. There's a lot of y in this word. Veins. 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 Lots of y. Veins. Veins. All right. That's the penultimate set of 10. We've just got 10 more words to do together. Okay, 891. Действие анестезии начинало ослабевать. Ослабевать? Ослабевать? I don't know. The anesthetic was starting to wear off. Anesthetic. Tricky word. Anesthetic. Anesthetic was starting to wear off. My mouth is partly open. It will be easier to get the if you start opening your mouth. Anesthetic. Anesthetic was starting to wear off. Who administers an anesthetic? It's an anaesthetist. My friend is an anaesthetist. No, not analyze the test. My friend is an anaesthetist. Anaesthetists administer anesthetics. No, try again. I think that anesthetics are administered by anaesthetists. Yes, it's a tricky word. Anesthetic, anaesthetist. Okay, the next one. Я купил эту керамическую плитку для своей ванной комнаты. Керамическая плитка, ceramic tiles. I bought these ceramic tiles for my bathroom. Remember, I didn't choose these words. These words come from the Oxford 5000, which is a collection of 5,000 words which the linguists at Oxford University Press decided were the most necessary for learners. I don't think I would have chosen ceramic myself, but they chose it. So there we go. Ceramic tiles. Okay, the next one. Перечислите эти события в хронологическом порядке. List these events in chronological order. There we go. Another word where ch is a k in English. Chronological. Chronologicky, chronological. Chronological. The stress is on this o here. Chronological order. Chronological order. The next one. Недавно я занялся медитацией. I took up meditation recently. Meditation. And there's the verb as well. She is meditating. To meditate. Meditation. The next one. Большинство пожилых людей испытывают ностальгию. Я тоже испытываю. Most old people feel nostalgia. Nostalgia. They feel nostalgic about the past. Let's add, I think I said they. They feel nostalgic. Feelings of nostalgia. Nostalgic, nostalgia. It's another s-t, so we get s-dalgic. Nostalgic. The next one is about quote. Мы достигли нашей квоты на этот месяц. Quote is a quota. We have reached our quota for this month. Quota. To get this word, you've got to lower your chin. Or jaw. Quota. 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 Our quota has been reached. Has been fulfilled. The next one. Это радиоактивное вещество. Radioactivное is radioactive. This is a radioactive substance. Radioactive. The noun is radioactivity. This device measures the level of radioactivity. Radioactive, radioactivity, radioactive. Can you hear the w? Radioactive, radioactive, radioactivity. The next one is рюкзак. Мне нравится твой рюкзак. Rucksack is a rucksack. I love your rucksack. My son Philip always pronounces this word wrong. I've told him so many times that it's a rucksack. He always calls it rucksack. My rucksack. My rucksack. It's not a rucksack, Philip. It's a rucksack. Rucksack. It should have a long r and then rucksack. 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 Like that. Rucksack. Short rucksack. Not rucksack. The next one. Он не очень тактичен. He's not very tactful. So, tactician is tactful. What other words are there that start with tact? There are definitely some others. There's tactful. Obviously, there are tactics, tactical. A tactician is somebody who does tactics. not somebody who's tactful. There's also tactless. I think that's the word I was looking for, really. Tactless. She's tactless. Or, that was a tactless thing to say. Без такта. What is it in Russian? Tactless thing. Это было бестактно с моей или с вашей стороны. Tactless. Tactful, tactless. And the last word is vibrating. Казалось, все мое тело вибрировало. My whole body seems to be vibrating. I'm picking up good vibrations. And this is a chance to talk about the wonderful word vibe. In Russian, people talk about vibe as well. Хороший vibe. The vibe. Vibes. I love the vibe. When you pronounce English vibe, it needs a lot of y. You know, like y. Really a lot. Vibe. Good vibes. Let's see which sort of vibes there are. Adjective and then vibes. Let's see. Good vibes, bad vibes, positive vibes, negative vibes, different vibes, strange vibes, weird vibes, vibes. Vibrations. It's because sound, isn't it? Vibes are like the sound waves, the vibrations. All right. That's all. I hope you're feeling some good vibes because you've reached the end of the course, or maybe some melancholic or even some sad vibes because there aren't any more lessons to watch. Well, there will be. I'm planning to make a lot of different lessons. If you're watching this, I don't know, in 2025, then there are already lots more lessons for you to watch. So I hope you will find some more useful information on my channel. But thank you for giving me so much of your time. I do hope that you've both enjoyed it and found it useful. I guess if you hadn't, you wouldn't still be here, so you probably did. Please let me know if you have enjoyed the course. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know what could be better. Let me know if there are any other videos or any other series of videos or playlists that you would like me to make. Feedback is really important to me. Sometimes I feel like I lack a connection with my subscribers, so I'm very happy to hear from you. Please do let me know if you have anything really that you'd like to tell me about. You can also find me on Instagram and Telegram. Just search for Hopkins English. There's lots of content there too, which might be interesting for you. So that's all. We've made it. Well done. But I do hope that this isn't the last one of my videos that you watch. I hope you'll come back soon. All right. Bye-bye.